My name's Duncan Smith and I'm the founder of a consultancy called iCompli Limited. Since 2004, we've been helping organisations comply with information law and privacy. Today we're going to be talking about law, and there are a myriad interpretations of the legislation at the moment. Obviously the final arbiter in this is generally legal counsel, so of course we always recommend that you seek legal counsel. But it is important that what you do is you understand as much as you possibly can about the legislation, but then recognising when you get to the end of your knowledge, and when you reach the end of your knowledge, that's the time to reach out to your legal counsel and seek further advice. If I want to do outbound marketing in the UK, that's currently on an opt-out basis, looking closely at the preference services, the telephone preference service or the corporate telephone preference service. So we automatically, in fact currently, we use legitimate interest as the lawful basis for processing that the outbound telephone data for us to carry out outbound direct marketing calls. So in the B2B space, even though we're marketing directly to named individuals, people at companies, we do not need their consent under the PEC regs. We can use an opt-out method. And the new e-privacy regulation forces everybody, talks about end users, so it's going to force consent perhaps in the B2B space. And so therefore there's a lot of confusion whilst we wait to see whether that legislation then becomes final, and also how it's interpreted into UK law later on. Your consent needs to go back to your privacy notice, back to your fair processing, to make sure that your collection of consent is valid in the first place. And then, here's what's really important, is you've got to manage that consent, because it's a lifed product. It starts to go off. It's a bit like the tangerine in the fruit bowl. Eventually it's going to start going mouldy. And what you've got to do is make sure that any consent that you've got is retained, is valid throughout its lifetime. So regulator guidance on this talks about retouch, so the idea that you are constantly having a dialogue with people, and if that dialogue breaks down, then there's a time limit, a half-life if you like.